Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on the Impreza. I think I already mentioned in two videos where the spring broke, and even though it looks level right now, I've got the jack on this side so I can sort of keep it level. So I don't want to postpone this anymore. As you can see, the weather is amazing for once. It's not raining, not too windy. So what I'm going to do is just move it. We're going to park it sort of in the middle, so we have access to both sides, and we're gonna get started. But I believe it's been 2 weeks since the last time I actually started it, so let's do that first, because at the minute she's colder than Russia. Alright, now that it's all jacked up, what we're going to do is take the wheels off. I'm going to get you off the tripod. We're going to go under and we're going to start taking things apart and see how does it go. Hopefully we don't break anything. Probably I already jinxed myself now for fucking saying that, but you know, this is how it goes. So let's see. If you got the same issue that I have, my wheel is not coming off because it's basically fused at the minute with the disc. And that happens, you know, when you got shitty conditions like winter and all that kind of, no winter, but you know what I mean. When it gets cold, when there's like salt on the road and all that kind of thing. So a quick trick is going to be, try this. Just kick it a couple of times, and it should loosen. As you can see here, all this white crap here is what is going to make your wheel fuse with your brakes. And there we have our spring. As you can see, it shouldn't be down there. It should be just like that one. So this shouldn't be a hard job to do. What we're gonna have to do is remove the bolt and nut that you can see right here, and the bolt and nut that you can see right there. So then we can get this arm to basically pivot, and we're gonna be able to get our shock off. As well, we're going to have two nuts at the top where the top mount is, so I'll show you in a minute where those are. So if we come up here at the back of the vehicle, don't worry about all that shit, that's from the Christmas tree. Yes, I haven't cleaned it yet. What we're going to do is pull this up. Oh. We're going to pull this up, and what we're going to have to do is remove this plastic cover here and here on this side. I don't know if you can see that one. And that's the other side that we're going to have to remove. And as you can see, there's one nut right there. There's going to be one behind here, and then we're going to have another one, as you can see right there, and another one just right there. One very important thing here, when you got your spring broken like my one, that you can see here, that's broken, and now this is loose. Be careful before you start doing anything, because my one, for example, it was this here was on top of this and holding on this as well, on this other bit of the spring, and what it was doing is putting some tension as well on it. So be careful, because if you undo this, that bit of a spring or this spring might hit you on the hand, or this might go flying and hit you on the face, so be careful with that. Alright, so this is the two nuts that I was talking about. So we got a nut there, nut there, bolt on the other side. They're going to be both 19. What I recommend you to do with them, if you can, maybe 1 or 2 nights before you're going to be doing this, is lubricate the shit out of that one, and same thing on the other side. And if you can get in between, do it as well. Whenever you're doing a job that has something to do with removing rusty bolts or rusty nuts or screws, I recommend you to always lubricate it. Get as well a wire brush so you can get rid of all the shit on there. So it's going to make your job quite a lot easier when it comes to removal. Alright, they're going to be both of them 14. As you can see, my 14mm. You can see my 14mm has been used and abused, mostly because of the Subaru itself. We're going to get down there, and we're going to try to get them out. one. Let's see if we can get on the other one without having to. There we go. So we go one here and one here. Alright, now that we remove the two nuts that hold the top mount to the body, what we're going to do, as I said, is tap this one out. So that way we should be able to remove this bolt, and now we can remove the one on the shock, and in theory, as you can see here, we should be able to move a shock out of the way, which is probably going to be a bit stuck in there. Try with a pry bar, see if you can move it towards you. And there we go, we got it out. I got it out, and I just discovered something that I am not liking really. Because, what do you think about this? They shouldn't be able to compress the shock like that. Not that easily. So we're going to remove the other one and see how it is, but I'm afraid we might gonna have to get two shocks as well. So this is what we've done at the minute. The idea was just to change the springs on both, but as you can see, I shouldn't be able to compress it that easily. Like, that is way too easy, and it's taking ages to go back as well. So yeah, I just got ICP, I got two new ones, and we're gonna replace them. So they should be here probably tomorrow or Wednesday. So if so, on Wednesday we can get the top mounts off, get all this shit off, keep all these gaiters, all these dust covers, and replace them. And then hopefully we can fit them on Wednesday. But yeah, that's quite annoying. Quite annoying, to be honest. Just to be able to go like that. Well, just to be able to go this, just to be able to do that. Yeah, not too happy about it. But well, it is what it is, I suppose. Let's get them replaced. A few days have gone by since the last clip on this video, but finally we got them here and we got them ready. So, as you can see, new shock, new spring, KYB spring, KYB shock. Yes, I did spend a bit of money on them. The top mount, I checked it and we kept it the same. To be honest, it looks good, so I wasn't going to spend more money on that. Now, as far as I know, don't quote me on this, but as far as I know, it doesn't matter which one is which one because they are exactly the same on one side and the other. The only thing that you have to be careful is that you see your top mount, you have your two bolts right here. They have to align with this, since this sits like that and the bolt goes through on the lower control arm, and this sits straight like that right at the top where it mounts with the chassis of the vehicle. So that's just something to bear in mind. Try to keep this as aligned as it can be. As well, don't forget to make your spring go right to the stop right there to where it locks. And if you're using the old ones, and I believe the new ones as well, this rubber right here will have a stop as well right at the top, so you can locate it perfectly and then put your top mount. Enough of us chatting, let's fit him and let's get the car around the floor again. To install the shock back in, which I should have done this before as well because it would have made it a lot easier to remove it, we're going to remove our drop link bolt, which is basically a 14mm bolt and nut. They go right here So if we do that, this will have a lot more movement. So what we're going to do now is install our shock, try to get the bolts from the top mount on the holes that we need to. Once you manage to get your shock in, be careful. Let me see if I can show you. When you're trying to get the top mount to align with the holes up there and there, just be careful. Don't put your hand right there where the torch is, or if you're going to do, be mindful that as soon as it locates on the pins, locates on the hole, sorry, it's going to push up. So yeah, just be careful. And now that we got it in, all we have to do is locate the bush with the holes, as you can see right there. We just need to get it to move to here. You can easily push it, so you don't need to force it really. And what I'm going to do before I put the bolt and nut through is put a bit of silicone grease on the actual bolt, just to prevent it from seizing. I know you're going to be thinking, all right, that's very nice and all, but how are we going to get that to line with that bolt, and most importantly that one to line with that one? Well, what we're going to do is first we're going to bolt the top mount to the chassis. We're going to torque that, we're going to come down here, we're going to torque this, we're going to jack up gently this arm until it meets with the knuckle, and it meets again with our drop link, and that's how we're going to get our bolts in. I already put the two nuts here that support the top mount with the chassis. We're going to torque them, and after that, as I said, we're going to go down and we're just going to jack up the arm slowly until we reach the point that we want. We got all of the bolts now on and tighten. One thing I would say is, once you're removing your jack, do it slowly. You don't want to snap any bolts, or you don't want anything to break. The only thing that I would recommend you to do is, once everything is in position, we're going to torque that bolt and that bolt right there as well. But this one here, the one for your drop link, the only one that we're not going to torque is the one for the drop link, because we're meant to be doing that once the car is on the floor. So what we're going to do is just get it kind of tight, and then once it's on the floor, we're going to torque that one on. I'm going to get all the torque settings once I finish this together on a list, so you know exactly how tight we want every single nut and bolt to be. But I'm not going to bore you with me doing the other side, since you already sort of seen how to do this one. So I'm going to tackle that one, and I'll see you in a minute. Once we got everything mounted and everything torqued, which I didn't remember where I put my torque wrench, so that took me like half an hour to actually find the fucking thing. So that pushed me back a bit. But anyway, once we got everything mounted and everything torqued, remember the ones that we're not going to torque are the drop links until the car is on the floor. I want you to tighten them, but not too much, until we put them on the floor, and then we can torque them. You can do it the way that you want it, but this is the way that I do it, and the way that I've been told. So, all right, what we're gonna have to do now is put this on, and once we get the wheels on, we can get them off the jacks, and we can almost use it again. If you wonder why I said it's almost ready to go back on the road, go and watch this video up here and you'll understand. And since we're not able to yet go for a drive, I'm going to leave you here with a teaser. And just like that, another successful job done. I was looking at the torque settings, so I don't lie to you, and I can give you the proper values. And to be honest, it is a bit unclear really, because cars from 2007 or earlier got certain torque settings, and 2018 onwards got different, which this one is a 2010. So from the shock to the arm, I did 90 Newton meters. From the knuckle to the arm, I did 90 as well. And on the top, these ones are the only ones that I actually found that they are the same. The two nuts on the top mount up here are 25 Newton meters. If you're like me and you're changing the shock and the spring, the top mount nut is 30 Newton meters. The only thing is that to tighten that, you're gonna have to have a socket which allows you to put the Allen key through it. Since it has an Allen key, the actual what's called the actual shaft of the shock absorber has an Allen key at the top, so you're gonna have to put a socket with a spanner or whatever you can get, and then the Allen key in the middle, so you are able to tighten that up without making the whole shock rotate. And your drop links, once the car is on the floor like it's now, you're gonna have to torque them to 38 Newton meters, I believe it is. As I said, check the car that you've got, see the year that it is, and then you will be able to actually have the proper torque settings. And just like that, we get to the end of another video. I did enjoy actually doing this. I don't really like the machine they use to compress the springs. I don't know, I had one experience where the spring was compressed maybe too much and it just flew across the workshop, so it's not something that I particularly enjoy. But to be honest, this ones were quite a lot easier. I don't know, I suppose I'm getting the hang of it, so I'm not that scared anymore. I could turn the car off, but I do miss the sound of this car, and since I can't drive it, I'd rather listen to it at least for a bit. And talking about that, I know I mentioned it before, but if you haven't yet, click on that link up there so you can see exactly what we can drive it. The part should be arriving, I think it's in like 1 or 2 days. So once that is done, we're gonna go for a drive, so stay tuned for that. But until then, thank you for liking, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing if you do, and I shall see you very shortly. Bye.